All right, hi everyone. My name is Juan. I am the CEO of SquareOne, and welcome to this session. So here with me is the immigration attorney Jacob Spochnik, and he has. So I have sent out the information regarding like a short description of who he is and his website, and also the amount of follower he has across social media. So yeah, Jacob, do you wanna just do a, brief introduction?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Wimpet, for having me here. And we've been doing this for quite some time together. We had maybe more than four sessions. As you mentioned, I'm an immigration attorney. I'm based in San Diego. We have an office in the East Coast in Connecticut, and I try to come a few times a year to the East Coast to meet with clients and partners. The focus of our law firm is business immigration, family immigration. We work with a lot of students, investors, startup founders transitioning from students to opening their companies. And I've been doing this for 20 years now. I came here myself as an F1 student myself. I came as an F1. I had a OPT, then a H1B, then a green card through the company that I worked for, and then I became a citizen 5 years later. And we are, as you mentioned, our biggest focus is the law firm is very tech forward. We have a lot of technology that we use in terms of onboarding our clients, how we collect documents. So we use a lot of AI tools to be able to scan and update and predict things in immigration. And obviously, the work that we do is always cutting edge. And the social media part is something that I'm personally passionate about because I use videos and other tools to educate clients on all platforms. Our biggest platforms are Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And if you want to share those handles with the team, then they can follow us as well, so you can stay up to date with the videos and the content that we do pretty much every day. But today we're going to talk about some of the issues that you shared with us before, and also I'll tell you about some things that we are developing right now to help more students to qualify for some of these visas that um, some of them don't really feel comfortable or don't really know how to do it. So we'll talk about it towards the end of the webinar. But I
Perfect.
think why don't we go through the
Sure. The question
some of
list.
these questions, and then I'll make those questions into the topics and provide the updates as it relates to
Absolutely.
those.
Absolutely. So yeah, I when Jacob was doing a self introduction, I see a couple more people just joining. So basically, welcome everyone. I see a lot of them are from National Louis University, and welcome. And again, my name is Juan, and I am the CEO of SquareOne. And the SquareOne's mission is to help international students start their career in the U.S. And we have our Jacob here. So he has let me just pull up his Instagram account real quick and tell you the number of follower that he has. So, mm, okay, so he has 1.8 million followers on Instagram, and also like a couple 100,000 on YouTube, and also he has 4.9 star on Google Maps. So today, we have him here to discuss the most critical immigration policy change that's taking place right now. So the first question to you, Jacob, is the current policy change regarding OPT, STEM OPT, H-1B, and green card applications.
So in the past probably few months, we've seen a lot of discussion about limiting the OPT, putting some barriers on it. Like I said, as of now, nothing is happening in that respect. OPT is still around. People can still apply. What is going to be changing, and what has been changing it recently, is that the amount of time that it's taking them to process these application is very, very slow. So if you want to apply for your OPT, you have to really make sure you do it on the first day that you're eligible, because it's taking them forever to adjudicate those applications. At the same time, they're also becoming very strict with respect to, are you working in the same area that your education is, is it related to your education? Whereas before, they were quite flexible in that respect. Right now, we've seen a lot more requests for evidence in those OPT, where people are working in jobs that are not necessarily related to what they studied, and it becomes an issue. Either they'll get rejected, or in the future, if they apply for a work visa, they may give them some trouble. So make sure you always check with your DSO, and maybe even talk to an attorney, just to make sure that the job that you're taking is actually in compliance. Um, a lot of things that we've seen is also with students that are, if you have a hybrid type of student visa, where part of it is online and part of it is in person. This is one of those things that we've seen a lot more uh, scrutiny, where they're getting students denied because they're not able to prove that they are showing up enough on the location where they're supposed to go. They don't have enough reporting or documentation that they're actually meeting the requirements of the hybrid situation. So if you are attending such a program, make sure that you are keeping records, documentation of your flights if you're in a remote state, or if you are in a different county, that you show that you're driving there a few times a month or whatever. But they've been definitely increasing their enforcement, and they're checking more where people are doing that. Also, in terms of students that are looking to start their own businesses on OPT, we've seen more and more scrutiny from the USCIS, where they're checking to see that the students actually meet the requirements, that they have a proper setup of their company, that maybe there's a board or somebody else working with them to make sure that they are in compliance with what they're supposed to do. So those are some of the things we've seen. Also, because we think that they might get rid of the OPT at some point, maybe in a year, maybe more, a lot more students are now being mindful about what can they do before they graduate. Because before, you had a year or maybe 3 years if you have a STEM OPT. Now, because they might get rid of it at some point, more students are trying to see if they qualify for the O1 visa. And we've seen more students transition. And even when I went to see you in New York, we met with a few students that potentially could transition from um, student visa to the O1 visa while they're still in school or towards the last year. The O1 requires proof that you have some kind of exceptional thing that you're thinking about doing, or if you're a STEM student and maybe you're going to start a company, the O1 is a really good transition to avoid the OPT if you don't want to be stuck at a position where either they will cancel it, or the O1 allows you to do more things that you can't do on the OPT. Like, for example, if you want to raise money with your startup, if you want to be the CEO of your own startup, it's better to do it with the O1 versus the OPT, in some cases. So it's good to have the options, and a lot more students are looking and asking me, what can I do in my last year of school if I don't want to go to the OPT because I'm worried about it, or if I want to get a green card. So we also have a lot of students that are right now applying for the EB5, because the EB5 is a green card based on investment, but the government might cancel it because they're going to bring the gold card. So a lot of students who are here on their second year or even the first year, they have their families help them apply for the EB5. So by the time they graduate, they already have a green card, and that opens the door to more job opportunities, being able to start their own companies and not have to rely on OPT, because not every employer is interested in hiring you. So those are some of the things we've seen that are happening more with students that are looking to transition to O1, apply for the EB5. And also, we've seen a lot of students that are here in the United States and they're changing their status to the student visa, and then after a year they want to go home to get a stamp in their passport. We've seen more and more denials at U.S. embassies of those kind of students who came here as a tourist, and then they converted their student tourist visa to student visa. Those students who go back to the embassy are now being denied in larger numbers. So I'll caution you to go back to the embassy if you change your status in the United States. So that these are some of the big changes that we've seen with students. And of course, you remember, and I mentioned it in one of our previous webinars. If you were a student and your service was canceled in April during the big raids that they had, if you had a traffic violation, if you had any shoplifting, that still continues in the sense that they canceled a bunch of the service and they reinstated them. But if you are a student and you have a shoplifting, and you have a DUI, you have multiple speeding tickets that resulted in a warrant, your service will be canceled even now, right? They will do that. So you got to be careful because even a one DUI could trigger an automatic cancellation of your service, and that will trigger a visa revocation as well. So there's no more like considerations; they'll automatically cancel it. It's whereas before you would be able to go to court, reduce it to reckless driving. It wouldn't be an automatic. Now it's automatic, so you got to be very careful. If you end up in any of these positions, your service will be canceled automatically. So just be mindful of that. If any of that happened to you, you should seek legal advice immediately. um so yes, so that's with your,
Yes.
yeah, let's move to the next one.
Thank you, Jacob. So actually, I do have a couple of follow-up. So
Yeah, yeah,
regarding the OPT to STEM OPT, I believe they canceled the automatic extension.
correct.
So, and you also mentioned they process their approval process is super slow right now. So how early can students file for extension? And what if they don't approve in time?
So, this automatic extension cancellation is applicable to a lot of other EADs, not just the OPT. But I think that I always tell people 6 months before it expires. I think it's the earliest you can. You cannot apply before 6 months. So everybody should calendar 6 months and then apply.
And I have seen some students got their STEM extension, STEM OPT, 8 months, 10 months, or even longer. What happens if in that case?
Well, in that case, there's going to be a gap in employment, obviously. So they're going to have to work with their employers to try to see what they can do to extend it. You know what I mean? Or allow these employers to allow them to keep working. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they won't do it. You know, and sorry here. Oops.
Okay, someone is asking if I want to apply to the green card, how can I do that? Especially I have been here 2 years ago and I am studying MBA master degree, then I will have my OPT. So, Doa, we will move on to the all the pathways. So to explain all the pathways a F1 student, also with OPT, the pathways for you to get green card. And as Jacob mentioned, one of the good way to go is O1, but there are a lot of other options as well.
Correct.
Uh,
Exactly. We're talking about EB5 or one. It depends which country you're from. There might be other options if you're, we need to know which countries they're from
Yep.
as well.
So feel free to jump in and ask questions when it comes up, anytime. You can text or you can just speak up. So a follow-up from Jacob, what you mentioned earlier is that okay, you said the job description should fit the major of study, right? So say I majored in marketing, but I got a job in sales, but the sales includes conducting like marketing efforts, would
Correct.
that qualify?
I think so. I think, like I said, as long as we provide explanations with our application, we should be in good shape.
Okay,
You know what I
so
mean? So as long as we provide explanation, then we should be good.
so on the job description, official offer letter or the job description, there are 20% like that fits my field of study. Like what's the percentage that will basically
You
qualify?
know, I think I think the way we recommend, it's not just about percentage. It's if you can show the linkage between what you like. In your case, you know, it's marketing, but sales requires marketing too, because we have to explain the product. We have to maybe create descriptions so people can easily buy it. So as long as we provide explanation about the linkage, that's fine. And if there isn't a request for evidence, we can always explain it afterwards. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That's just how we. That's kind of how we do it, and we recommend for people to do it.
And also another thing is OPT is self-reporting. So basically you are telling school DSO how this job fits your field of study. Is that
Sorry, say it again.
okay?
You were
So
lagging.
okay, I believe to file your OPT or to qualify your OPT, you have to self-explain how your job
Correct.
description fit
Absolutely.
fit, right?
Correct. Exactly. So you put it in the initial package.
Does it seem to have some wiggle room there that we can work with?
For sure. For sure.
Okay,
As long as we give them the foundation as to what we're doing, they're gonna be fine with it.
okay, sounds good. And the next question is the H-1B $100,000 rule. And now we
Yeah.
know that it does not
One
apply.
pen. Can you
Yeah,
hold just 1 second? I need
sure.
to sign like one document.
Okay,
The FedEx guy is here. It's a deadline. Give
all
me
right,
2 seconds.
no
I'm not
problem.
disconnecting. I'll be right.
Okay,
And then people can post questions in the comments, and
yep,
I'll be right back.
okay, sounds good. So feel free to, type all your concerns or questions in the chat. Usually, a legal consultation charges anywhere from like 150 to $250. So, and since we have a free opportunity for Jacob here to answer all the questions that you may have, take advantage of that. And at the end, we will also have a surprise for you guys as well. So far, do you have any questions? Um, okay, let's see. When should we apply for OPT? Okay, that's a good question. We'll leave that for Jacob. J1 visa for kitchen workers. Okay, we will also touch up on J1 worker or J1 visa in the question. So it's question three, so it will come up. Any other questions? Feel free to type in the chat.
Okay, it's all good.
All right. So Pratnia had have a question. So she said she graduate in June 2026. When should she apply for OPT?
Um, June 2026. So I would say maybe 6 months before that she can apply for. So probably around late January.
Okay. Okay. So someone else have a question. How can I maximize my chances of getting a STEM OPT job that qualifies me for H-1B?
So I think that with the job market, it's really about you casting a wider net, right? So the more employers that are in the area that you want to work, the more you are able to either get an internship or something that will make sense. But the H1B itself is a very different than the STEM OPT, because STEM OPT, you're limited within one area. When you apply for the H1B, they go back into your education. We can use maybe some courses that you studied to link it to the job. So the H1B is really a specialty occupation. It's You have to have a bachelor degree, and your job that hires you for the H1B must require a bachelor degree. And ideally, it should be in the field of your studies. It's a little bit different than the STEM OPT. So I think And the other thing with the H-1B is that it's subject to a lottery. So a lot of employers are like, okay, we'll hire you, but we don't know if you're going to get selected in the lottery. So that's why you always have to have plan B, which is O1 is always a good plan B, especially if you qualify under STEM. You know what I mean?
Okay. So feel free to type in the chat. We're gonna move on to other questions. So another question I was asking earlier is that H-1B, there is a $100,000 rule if you're outside of the country. So what's the update on, on the applicant that's in the United States? Or if you're hired and then you just like, can you get a travel visa or some other visa and get in the country and avoid the fee? Like what's the situation there?
So the situation with H-1B after all the updates is that the only people that are subject to that fee is A, if you're outside of the country and the H-1B visa was approved and you need to go to the embassy to get a stamp, then you'll be subject to the new rule. And obviously, it's a new H-1B that was filed, and you are also out of the country. Then you need to collect that H-1B at the embassy. These are the only categories of people that qualify that have to pay the fee. Right? Anybody else, they don't have to pay the fee. So if you're inside the United States as a student and you change your status with H-1B, it's a new H-1B, you don't have to pay the fee. Even if you got the H-1B inside the United States, then you go back to your home country, you still don't have to pay the fee because you were here originally when the H-1B visa was approved, right? So it's a very narrow group of people that needs to pay a $100,000 fee, but everybody still qualifies. Everybody still needs um, still needs to get the lottery to be selected in the lottery. You're not exempt from that.
So what if you got an offer that gives you H-1B and then you just fly to the US?
So you can do that. So let's say you have an H-1B and you come here as a tourist and you change your status here or as a student, then you won't be subject to
Oh, so you can
to the
avoid the
fee.
$100,000 fee.
Correct. As long as you
Okay.
can come to the United States legally, you will avoid the fee.
Okay. Good to know. All right. Any Okay, travel. There is someone mentioned about travel. So Samir, I believe, was asking, um, is it a red flag if, like, how often can we travel to our home country? And would that be a red flag if we do that often?
No, it's not a red flag. As long as you have a visa in your passport, you can go as much as you want. That's the reason why you have a multi-entry visa.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so to continue with the question list, the second question I have here is, what are the legal requirements for you to start your own business as an international student? On F1 or J1 visa, I assume.
Um, so as long as you are a student and you're about either to do the OPT or you're going to transition to a different visa, if you're going to start your own business, you have to obviously form your company. Ideally, you should form the company when you have OPT, but you can also form your company as a student without an OPT and not work in the company. You can just be an owner of the company, right? And then you can apply for like an H-1B visa or an O-1 visa, so you can actually work in your own company. Under some of the new rules that came out last year, you can actually apply for an H-1B visa on your own without a job offer. So you can have a self-employed H-1B where you open your own company while you're a student, right? You can open your own company while you're a student, and then in March you apply for the H-1B through your own company, and then if you get selected, you get the visa for the H-1B for 18 months only because it's a self-employed H-1B. So that's one way you can do it. So you can open your company as a student, but you have to have some kind of a goal. What's going to be your visa? Is it going to be an H-1B? Is it going to be the O-1? right? If it's going to be the H-1B, then you have to make sure you time it with the filing dates. If it's an O-1, then you can transition to it at any time once you're ready.
So, okay, you said you can okay, you can open your own business even when you are a student, but you cannot legally work for your own business. And you can use the business you opened to sponsor you during OPT period. And then you can also use the company that you created to sponsor you or for to enter H1B lottery.
Correct.
Is there a income or revenue restriction, or like how much do you have to make per year for you to qualify to enter the lottery, H1B lottery?
No, no, there's no set amount. You just have to be able to show that you can, either through your contracts or through work, to be able to pay the salary that you tell the government you're going to make. Let's say you say you're going to make 70,000. You have to be able to show that you can either get it through work or you already have the money in the bank. You know what I mean? That's all they care about. But they don't care about um, they don't care about your revenue basically.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. I guess moving on to the next question. Um, so can you discuss all the pathways for students, uh, t- for students like uh, from F1 or J1 status to green card, including A1 and EB1 and other national interest waivers, all these pathways that you can like basically have a pathway to green card at the end.
Yeah. So I mean, essentially, there are three paths for self-petition green card for students. So the first one would be the EB2 national interest waiver. So let's say you're a STEM graduate, you're working on some project that will be in the benefit of the United States. Maybe you're working on some kind of a cool app that can help small businesses. Maybe you're in healthcare or tech. Then you can apply for self-petition based on the idea that you have to build something. Even if you don't have it yet, the idea itself, we can build it for the EB2 national interest waiver. The second option is EB1. Maybe you're an exceptional entrepreneur before you became a student or while you're a student, and you have some records that achievement that we can prove. Maybe you built something and you sold. Maybe EB1A is less common for students, but we've done it for some that had that kind of work. Maybe you got a job offer with a big company. So EB1 is another a self petition for self exceptional ability students. A lot of students apply for the EB5. We have a lot of students from kind of China, India, Middle Eastern countries that apply for the EB5, having their family loan them the money, $800,000 that they put in a government project. They get the green card very fast. The money goes back to the family after 5 years. So it's a really good opportunity because you don't lose the money. You just kind of park it there for 5 years and then you get an EB5. So that's a really good option for students to get a green card without showing any skills, just having the family support them while they're here in the US. So these are the top three ways that people are getting green cards, self petition for students.
Okay, so I'm very interested in national interest waiver because you said it can just be an idea. Uh,
Correct.
so how how do you turn an idea into a green card? So I find it very interesting because a lot of people like especially it's getting NIW is becoming a very heated topic for
Correct.
internationals.
Yeah.
And what's the chance of, pitching an idea to the government and they give you the green card
Yeah. So
eventually?
right now it's about 70%, 68% approval rate, which is lower than last year, but it's still not bad for somebody who says, I'm a student, I'm about to graduate, or I'm in my second year, and I have this idea, and I'm developing the business plan. And I'm working. And many of the students they use their thesis projects to convert them to NIWs. The point is that even if it's 68%, 70%, it is still better than having no job offer or no other way to get a green card. So it's the risk is not high because even if you get denied, you can still try again in 6 months. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever. So I think that you know those are good opportunities for a lot of students, especially in the STEM industry, where we can use some of that way to to get a green card based on either their thesis or some ideas that they have to develop their projects.
Okay, so let's say, okay, that was very interesting. So I want to continue with the NIW topic. Um, does the government, if the government give you the NIW, is that a visa or a status? What is that, just a green card?
So the NAW, the way it works, we have two steps. The first step is the immigrant visa, right? Immigrant petition, where we have to prove to the government that we qualify for that green card. Once that's approved, then we have to wait for the visa numbers to become available. If you're from China, you have to wait 2 3 years. If you're from, let's say, Jordan, you have to wait less. But it's not an immediate green card. That the EB2 NIW takes about 2 years, 3 years, depends on where you're from. But eventually, you get a green card. So that's why, in the meantime, you have to either maintain your student status or transition from an F1 to an H1, F1 to an O1, F1 to a J1, or any other visa category that we feel that is available.
Okay. And if they granted your NIW application, do they check you on the progress? Like, say, I promise I'm going to make this app
No,
that will
no,
help. They don't check you.
they don't check. However, once you become a U.S. citizen, they might ask you, "What have you done since you got your green card?" So what you have to do, you can say, "Listen, I tried to launch this project, but it didn't work." And you can show, like, "Listen, So they want to see that there was some sort of genuine effort, at least to have the intention to do it. But you don't actually have to do it unless you actually want to. But we have a lot of people that they come from, let's say, the construction industry, and they had this idea to develop a housing project, but it didn't work out because they couldn't raise the funds. So they show, listen, we tried, we sent letters, but we couldn't do it. So we did something else, right? But the idea is there, and it's something that is a workable project, and that's all you need.
So, okay, so basically, even if the idea fail, or you don't start the idea, but they once they give you the green card, or you become the citizen, they that's it. They don't check. They don't.
Correct, correct. They don't.
Okay, so
That's
very good to
that's
know.
why the
Hmm.
that's why the EW is so popular, because you don't need a job offer. You of course you need to qualify based on all the other requirements, but they want to see that there's a genuine effort of you to try to do this by showing all the things that we put in the application for the clients, obviously.
Okay, can you assist students with NIW?
Absolutely, yeah. With NIW, EB1s, H1s, O1, we have a department for all these applications, of course.
Awesome, cool. And follow up on to the next question, which is, what's your recommendation on the best? You did mention that three bad pathways. So, what's the best pathway to stay and work and live in the U.S. based on like the F1 visa? So you did touch up on that. And do you want to talk about the program that you're offering and yeah.
Yeah. Before I talk about that, somebody asked what are the requirements for the O1. So the requirement for the O1 is obviously you have to have some background in. So let's talk about technology, right? You're studying computers. They want to see that maybe you have an idea to develop some kind of a business. Maybe you are currently working as an intern somewhere. Maybe you've done something before you came to school. We want to show that you have some sort of recognition or expertise in any field that we're going to define is going to be your expertise. Okay, and many students, for example, who are in the STEM industry, they've done a lot of work while in school, internships, potential projects. We have even one student that developed an app that was acquired. Not a huge amount, but that was enough for me to work on the O1. So things like that will be very helpful to be able to do it. And again, everybody has a different story. Unlike the H1B, where you have to have a degree and a job offer, and that's it. O1 is a more flexible type of visa, and we work with you to do that. So one of the things that we realize is that there are many people that have something, but not everything for the NIW, EB2, or for the O1, or for any of the processes, but they don't know what they have to do to get to the point where they qualify. So we developed a profile building program where we work with the students, typically 4 6 weeks, depends on the program, and help them to qualify or build their profile. And it depends. Some people need obviously more time to go through the process. And we are offering this program to anyone that is interested to build their profile if they don't have what it takes yet. So what I'm going to do is at the end of the webinar, I can, we'll put a phone number there. You can text the number and get the information for the profile building, and then we can sign you up and help you, work with you guys to get to the point where you qualify for the O1 or the NIW, or any of the options that I mentioned in this webinar.
Perfect. Someone asked, does your firm offer any services that can help students like me plan long-term immigration strategy? For example, transitioning from F1 to OPT, STEM OPT, H1B, O1, or even an NWF? Yes. What type of support do you provide, and when should a student start working with interning?
So there are two ways you can do it. One is what is called a profile assessment, where we basically spend an hour with you to go over all the options you have as a student early on, as soon as you become a student, so you know what to do in those 3 years or 4 years of school. And then we have the program where we help students who are about to graduate to transition. What can you do? How to find a job? So that is also a service that we offer that the students can do. So it depends on what stage of school, but we have options for both, where we sit down with you. We kind of like create a strategy to map out your options moving forward. And it's also for people who are just starting school, and for people that are about to graduate and they need to know what to do, how to find a job, what to tell the employers, how to apply for self petition, and then so at least they have the knowledge, kind of like when you have a tax strategy where we map out your tax strategy. Same thing here.
Okay, and someone asked, maybe I'm not sure if you answered this already, but they're asking, do we need publication for O1 visa to apply for O1 visa?
It depends. Some O1s need, depends on how we file you. If I file you as an entrepreneur, you don't need publication at all, but you might need one article about you. And those articles can be obtained because there are many companies who provide media for a fee based on the profile that we present to them. But you don't need actual publications unless you're a scientist. Everybody else don't need that. All right.
Okay, and okay, so for everyone who has a question regarding job application, I will answer it at the end. So that's, guys, leave that to me because that's what I'm here for, and I am an expert to help you guys get hired. So let's focus more on the immigration questions. Um, okay.
Um, I think somebody says again about how to open a business as a student.
Yep.
So again, if you open a business as a student, it will be for with the purpose of transitioning you to a different visa. So either the E2, if you're European, or some of the Middle Eastern countries can get an E2, so you can be a business owner, or if you want to be a self-employed H1B, then you also open your own business by forming a company and transitioning your student visa to that new visa. So it really depends on what you want to do, especially towards the end of your F1. Okay. And we have another question: F1 MBA finishing in 2026. When do I apply for the green card, OPT, H1B? So for the green card, you can apply at any time as a self petition if it's a self petition. For the H1B, you need to apply after you graduate. You have to have the degree. And the OPT, you can do it, like I said, you should do it 90 days in advance, but start preparing all the documents 6 months before so you don't be late. But you can only file it 90 days. Um, the system won't accept it 90 days before.
And someone was asking for about J1. So for J1, the situation might be different from F1. And what's their like? How can they? What kind of employer can they go after? And what's the pathway for them to to
So,
get green
so
card?
a J1 is a trainee visa, typically given for a year or a year and a half. So for J1, you need to transition to the H1. That's the only option you have. So either H1B or if you want to open your own business, depends on what country you're from. So with the J1, I would start this whole thing 6 months in advance because you guys don't have much time. So 6 months before the J1 expires, start putting together a plan to transition to the E2 or maybe some other work visa if you're within the time frame of the H1 as well.
Okay, thank you. Um, all right, someone's asking, I'm interested in the NW. At which point do you help the student to apply for it if they have some established evidence from their home country?
It's not just from STEM, of course not. If they have some evidence, then we can work with them at any time. We just need to evaluate the profile. And as I said, those of you that are not fully qualified, we can work with you for several months to build your profile. That's where the profile building program that I mentioned before is there because I want to work with the students kind of like in an incubator for a few months to help them build themselves so then they'll be ready to file for it while they're in school. So this way, let's say you're now a year away. Then you sign up for their incubator, we work with you, build your profile, and then a year from now you can apply. Right. So that's kind of like how I feel it makes more sense. And and you don't waste your time to do that, essentially.
All right. Any last minute questions before we wrap up?
And I'm going to post the number right now. I'm going to post the number here in the comments, and you guys can use that number to text. And when you text, please use explain that you come from the student visa webinar. Literally post those words. And I just texted it right here. The 619-483-4549 student visa webinar. If you do that, then the team would know that we're doing it for this. We're here for this.
And if you say you're referred from SquareOne, I'm going to type that in the chat as well. Say if you're referred from our organization, you will get a 10% off for yep,
Absolutely.
10.
Absolutely. You have to mention that you came from Square One. Otherwise, the 10% won't apply because they don't
Yep,
know.
awesome. All right. How doable are LLC as a student? Like how can they open LLC as a student?
They can open LLC. Anyone can open LLC, right? I mean, we open the LLC for them, but you don't need to have anything. You don't need a visa to open it, right? So we can open an LLC at any time.
Right. So you know, I see you post this question again about the company keep rejecting you once they hear you're an international student. I do want to refer you to two websites. Give me 1 second, let me pull it up. Okay. The first one
So
is, yep,
somebody's asking what's the cost for the first appointment. So we give a special discount for you guys. It's 150, and And if we proceed to work with you on any of the projects, it will be reduced from any of the future work. But it's just for the people who come here. It's 150. Normally, my hourly rate is 650, and so because you guys are here and you're students, we're giving you a special rate. So it's 150 for the call, and we'll assess what you need. I'll talk to each one of you, and then we'll decide if you need the profile building or you're ready to do something else right away. I'll assess that for you guys.
All right,
Okay.
coming back to the question. I posted two websites that you sh all should put on your, bookmark. First, it's the USCIS H-1B Employer Data Hub. So that's a database for you to search for H-1B employer. These are all the employer that has sponsored H-1B in the past 10 years. It's all there. Take notes. The second one is the E-Verify database. E-Verify database is all the employer that has applied or got verified on their E-Verify system. So these are the two golden nuggets for international students to look at every time before you start applying for jobs. But at the same time, what we found out as SquareOne is an organization, what we found out is if you apply for jobs that's from startups, they are, even though they are not in the database, they're more willing to sponsor you for OPT, STEM OPT, and also H1B. So again, like I will share my information if you want to learn more about how to apply for startup companies. Most times what we find out is they don't really post job descriptions online. You have to do a way through networkings, and we do have a database of all the startups that got fundings in the past 90 to 120 days. So we can refer you to those companies. If you're interested, here is my contact information. And um, any last minute question for Jacob before we wrap up?
Excuse me, hi. My name is IBK. I am from Kyrgyzstan and I came here 2 years ago as an international student. And I have a question for you. Uh, Thank you so much, first of all, for hosting this event. And my university told me that they might do partnership with your company, the Q Trend. And could you please tell us about your service, what you provide, and does this internship, the Q Trend, as a CPT?
Okay. Yeah. So
I'm
thank
here.
you for asking that question. Before I
Any last
answer
minute
that,
questions?
no, I think she's asking a question for me to answer. Uh, about about
Hello.
about SquareOne. Hello?
I don't hear you.
Okay, so for me to answer your question, yes. So your school, you're from National Louis University, right?
Yes, I'm a junior.
You're junior. Okay, so we do have a partnership.
Winnipeg, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Mm, I can't hear you for some reason. Oh, here we go.
All right. Jacob, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. I think that's all the questions. Someone was asking me a question, so I'm going to answer that. But Jacob, thank you so much for coming, and they all have your contact information. And again, mention SquareOne, you get 10% off.
Yeah, mention SquareOne and the webinar, and we'll guys help you. Like I said, you get the special rate for the call. We'll assess you, and if I think you are a good fit for the profile building or whatever you guys need, we'll talk about it one on one, and this way we can plan your next steps.
All right. Thank you so much,
All right.
Jacob.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you all.
Take care. Yep. So answer your question about what we do and who we are. So basically, we realize, the needs for international student is that we don't have enough work experience to put on our resume, and also our visa requirement put us in a disadvantage when we are applying for jobs. So these are the two things we solve at our organization. First of all, we provide you with project manager led um, basically projects or working sessions that you work with a manager for 2 months. You get one work experience that you can put on your resume and then talk about on your interview. That and the project is designed based on the job descriptions for the industry you want to enter. For example, our business analytics program, as a lot of you are already working on it, is you work on a project that's designed based on the job descriptions in the business analytics field, right? You will be working with SQL, using SQL, and you will be using Tableau for data visualization. All these skills and teamwork, all these hard skills and soft skills that are required, we built into this program. So you basically get one work experience every 2 months. So after 4 months, you get two work experience that you can put on your resume, you can talk about in your interview. And the second major thing we do is we acknowledge, we understand a lot of the companies are scared or don't even sponsor OPT, STEM OPT, or H1B, any kind of sponsorship. So we did a lot of research into what kind of companies that are willing to help international students or see us as an asset rather than a burden. So what we found out is that a lot of startup companies, first of all, they give you great pay that qualifies you for H1B sponsorship, even in the new H1B policy change. But at the same time, they are more willing to sponsor you for a visa or for a work visa. So we have seen that. The problem is that a lot of startup companies that don't post job ads, it's very hard for us to locate them, target them, and then go after their opportunities. So that being said, what we do is we basically created a database for you to search for all the companies in the United States that just got seed funding all the way to Series B to C funding. So basically, they have enough money to hire you. That's what that means. All the database that you can reach out to them, that you can talk to them, that you can establish a connection with them. So these are the two ways that we help you to get hired, help you gain experience, help you connect with the industry or the companies that hire the most international students. So these are the things that we do. So if you are interested, send me a text. I will include you, or send me your resume on to my email, one@squareone.org.
Excuse me, I have also one question.
Yeah.
Could you please tell us about National Louis University? Did you already partnership with them? And also, does your internships are seasonal, like winter internship, spring, summer, or is it for 4 months?
Right now, our internship, the first cohort internship just started about 4 or 5 weeks ago. It's going to finish around end of December or January, and that's when we think the second internship will start. And right now we are actually opening two more internships. One is for software engineers, and the one is for business and sales. So if you're in IT or software engineer, again, we are opening another cohort in later, I would say early December or later December. So in December timeframe, we will open another internship program, and also for business and sales, marketing, business, all these business related management. I will personally lead the team to teach you basically how to be an entrepreneur. As Jacob mentioned, there are opportunities for you to apply for national interest waiver if you're an entrepreneur, if you are a company owner, and you can at least sponsor yourself for OPT and STEM OPT and even H1B, right? So I will teach you how to lead, like how to generate leads, how to talk to a company, talk to prospects, all the way to close a deal, signing a contract. All these ways we will going to teach you in the cohort. So this will also be coming up later in December as well.
do you already partner with National Louis University or not yet?
Yes, we do have a partnership agreement with them.
Okay. And what would you suggest to like when we can get this internship start, like at spring, or what do you think?
We will be looking in the winter, like December, early or late December timeframe.
And also,
You're a software engineer, right? You're a software engineer.
no, I want to be AI engineer, AI
AI engineer.
or machine
Okay,
learning.
so machine learning is more in business analytics, data analytics field, and an AI engineer is more in software engineer field. So I would say first, you can basically uh, think about which industry you want to enter first, and then we can coordinate with you. And uh, Christian have a question. How do we get info about internship? I mean business. Okay, so send me a text or send me send me an email, include your resume. I will reach out to you about the start date of the internship program. All right?
Excuse me, I have last question.
Sure.
It's about as a junior, I applied for a lot of internships and I'm still waiting for the answer. And what if I will take the internship from Qgrant and also get the real internship? Or is it like any limitations that I can get only one internship? Could you please explain this? Or
There's no limitations on how many internships you can get. You can
uh,
do one through us. You can do one through other companies. You can do one, you can do 5, 10 if you want to, if you have the time. There's no limitations on how many you can do.
and do you think if I will do the internship from Qgrant at winter time, it will be more chances for me to apply and get the internship at summer 2026 to get
So,
resume.
so the good news is your school process your CPT requirement really fast. So I would say for you to apply for a summer internship in 2026, the best time for you to start is January.
And can I still put like experience that I was interning in your company to apply for the summer, even though
Yes, you
I
can.
didn't finish it yet? Even though I didn't finish.
Oh, absolutely. I actually do recommend you, encourage you to do that. So once you start the program here or the internship here, you should always write on your resume and put on your LinkedIn, say this is something you did to increase your chance.
It will like look like as an official internship, right?
It's an official internship, absolutely. And even if they do a background check, you can tell them about, you can give them my phone number. I'll put in some good words for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Any
And
other last minute questions before we wrap up?
and you will also send to our email for National Louis University students, right? About like to get enrolled for the winter.
So I worked really close with Maria.
Mhm.
Maria, I believe, is director of International Student Office at National Louis University. So Maria have all my contact information, and also, take a screenshot or take a photo of my contact information. Send me your resume, and I will include you in the next cohort, next internship.
Mhm. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your support.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so
I
it's
just
I
have one
hope,
last
yeah,
question. I
sure.
just have one last question. I joined late, unfortunately, but I have just one question. For us international students, we are allowed to do only one internship, and that's CPT, and the rest is a full-time job. So I just got confused.
I believe you can do again. Like I believe you can. That's not the limitation here. Double check with your school to make sure. But even even if you're on OPT, you're allowed to have 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 5 jobs. So if that's the case, I don't think there is a limitation on how many internships you can get.
Okay.
Yep. Someone have their hand raised. What's your question? Muichi? What? Uh, yep.
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much for the information. I noticed that it's bordering more on STEM programs. I noticed that, for instance, I'm doing counseling, but my undergrad is in agricultural economics. So I'm trying to figure out where I can be placed because I realize that it is possible while somebody is studying that they can get a placement for an H1B, isn't it? And they can continue studying. Am I correct?
Yes. That is correct. Even if you are on H1, you can still work. You can still study at a school.
Excuse me, I have a question. I have a question regarding about Jacob's service and and do you think getting your service is enough to process all those things? Because as an international student, I'm really worried about what will happen in the future. And do you think getting internship from your company is enough, or and also like compared to Jacob's service, is it the same, or you have totally different services that you provide for students?
Jacob's service is different from me. What I do is I make sure you get a job or you start your own job. What he does is he makes sure you stay in the country, right? We do two completely different things. And to answer your question, if an internship experience here is enough, it really depends on how you it really depends on how you see it and how your mind shifts after this internship. So a lot of students, the reason why a lot of students don't get a job, even the domestic students don't get a job, is because they still think they're a student. They think job is going to teach you something. No, it's not going to teach you something. They want you to start working day one. They want you to be prepared. They want you to have at least 100% of what their job descriptions are asking for from day one, so you can start working. A lot of people say the hiring, the hiring in the US is broken, but it's actually not broken because if you look from a different angle, um, all these hiring managers, all these HR, all these recruiters have a KPI, right? The KPI is what? KPI is to make sure they spend the least amount of time to hire the most qualified person for the company, right? So with that in mind, uh, if if we are still applying to that job, even entry level job, in a student mindset, compared to someone who have two internship experiences, and during the interview, they demonstrate how they are qualified to start working day one. That's a tremendous difference, right? Even if you have only one internship experience, what I recommend you to do is uh, to work on projects, find find friends, find just the people randomly in your program, in your class. Do projects. Take a look at 20 job descriptions in AI engineer or in machine learning. 20 job descriptions, and use a word cloud, or see all the hard skills and soft skills that these 20 job descriptions have in common. Then, based on the list of hard skills and soft skills you extracted from those job descriptions, then you can work on the projects, right? Either on YouTube or on some competition hackathon platform. Doesn't matter, as long as you cover all the hard skills and soft skills that the job descriptions are asking for, you have a chance. They will at least give you an interview. And so these are other things that I basically I teach or go through during the internship program that other internships would never give you, is how do you prepare for a full-time job as an international student. And I go through these resume prep. I believe Samir and other students have been to my resume prep already. Resume prep, networking session, interview prep session. Again, this one is an attorney info session. And also by the end of December or beginning of January, we will have an HR info session. We bring in a real HR who has been working in the industry for 5 to 10 years, give you a first-hand suggestion on how you can approach a company's job board. So these are everything we provide in your internship program.
Okay, I'm sorry. So to be clear, you're saying that you're open to any profession. You are interested in information technology or engineering software, but you can also embrace other people that have studied in other fields. Is that correct?
Not every profession. We don't do every profession. We focus
Which
on,
profession?
yes, we focus on analytics, business data analytics, business data scientists,
Mhm.
software engineer, IT, business, marketing, sales, management. So basically, these are the three main fields of study that we cover.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Again,
Noted. Thank
so we're out of time. If you have other questions or if you're interested in joining the program, here I have also, I pinned my email address here, and I also pinned my phone number here. Again, thank you so much for joining. I hope this is helpful to you, and yeah, feel free to ask me any questions you have. All right.
Right. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much. Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, take
Have a
care.
good day. Thank you. I really
Have a
appreciate
good
your
night.
support. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.